Welcome to Zenlight 8, where the mysteries of the universe unfold before your eyes. Have you ever wondered if those strange coincidences in your life, like thinking of someone right before they call, are more than just chance? Here, we dive deep into the wisdom of Carl Jung and explore how to recognize signs from the universe through the magic of synchronicity. Join us on this journey to unlock the hidden connections between your inner world and the cosmos, and discover how these meaningful moments can light the way to a more purposeful life. Hit that subscribe button, and let's embark on this adventure together. The concept of synchronicity, Carl Jung's window into the universe. Welcome to a world where the impossible becomes possible, where the lines between mind and matter blur, and where the universe seems to whisper secrets just when you need to hear them most. This is the realm of synchronicity, a term coined by the legendary Swiss psychologist Carl Jung between 1928 and 1930. In his own words, Jung described synchronicity as an acausal connecting principle that links the inner world of the psyche with the outer world of physical events. But what does that really mean? And why does it matter to you? Let's dive into this fascinating concept and uncover how these meaningful coincidences might just be the universe's way of guiding us through life. At its core, synchronicity is about those moments that feel too perfect to be random. You've probably experienced it yourself, thinking about a friend you haven't seen in years, only to have them call you out of the blue moments later. Or maybe you've been wrestling with a tough decision, and suddenly a song on the radio or a stranger's offhand comment seems to offer the exact clarity you were searching for. These aren't just happy accidents, according to Jung. They're synchronicities, events that bridge the gap between what's happening inside your mind and what's unfolding in the world around you, without any obvious cause and effect explanation. Jung's idea challenges the way we usually think about reality. Most of us are used to seeing the world through a lens of cause and effect. If something happens, there's a clear reason behind it. You drop a glass, it shatters, simple. But synchronicity throws a wrench into that neat little system. It suggests that some events are connected not because one directly causes the other, but because they share a deeper, almost mystical meaning that resonates with the person experiencing them. It's as if the universe itself steps in to orchestrate these moments, aligning your inner thoughts, emotions, or unconscious stirrings with external happenings in a way that feels profoundly significant. Imagine this. You're walking down the street, lost in thought about a career change you've been mulling over for weeks. You're unsure, hesitant, maybe even a little scared. Then, out of nowhere, a flyer flutters down from a bulletin board and lands at your feet. It's an advertisement for a workshop on the exact career path you've been considering. No one handed it to you, no gust of wind seemed particularly dramatic. It just happened. To a skeptic, it's a coincidence. To Jung, it's synchronicity, a meaningful parallel between your inner uncertainty and an external event, offering you a nudge in the right direction. What makes synchronicity so compelling is its timing. Jung believed these moments don't just happen randomly. They show up precisely when you need them. It's almost as if the universe has a sense of dramatic flair, waiting for the perfect beat in your life story to drop a hint, a sign, or a revelation. This isn't about fate or predestination in the traditional sense. Instead, it's about a hidden order, a dance between your psyche and the world that reveals itself when you're ready to see it. Jung put it beautifully when he said, "Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see." In other words, these connections are always there, humming beneath the surface of everyday life, but it takes a certain openness, a willingness to look beyond the ordinary, to notice them. So, how does this acausal connecting principle actually work? Let's break it down. The word acausal is key here. Unlike a causal relationship, where one thing directly leads to another, synchronicity operates outside that framework. There's no visible thread tying your thoughts about your friend to their phone call, no logical sequence explaining why that flyer landed in front of you. And yet, the connection feels undeniable. Jung argued that this happens because the psyche isn't confined to your head. It's not just a collection of thoughts and feelings locked inside your skull. Instead, it reaches out, intertwining with the fabric of the universe in ways we can't fully grasp with our rational minds. This idea might sound far-fetched, but Jung wasn't pulling it out of thin air. He developed the concept of synchronicity after years of studying psychology, mythology, and even physics. His collaboration with Wolfgang Pauli, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, added another layer to the theory. Pauli was fascinated by how quantum mechanics revealed a universe far stranger than classical physics could account for. A place where particles could be entangled across vast distances, defying traditional notions of cause and effect. For Pauli, synchronicity offered a bridge between this mysterious quantum reality and the human experience, suggesting that the mind and matter might be more interconnected than science had ever dared to imagine. To Jung, synchronicity was deeply tied to the unconscious mind, that vast, shadowy reservoir of instincts, memories, and archetypes that shapes who we are beneath the surface. He believed that when something stirs in the unconscious, whether it's a question, a longing, or a fear, it can ripple outward, manifesting in the physical world through these meaningful coincidences. It's not that you caused your friend to call you by thinking about them. Rather, your unconscious mind and their action were part of a larger pattern, a shared moment of significance that the universe chose to highlight. Let's explore a more personal example to bring this home. Picture yourself at a crossroads in life. Maybe you're deciding whether to end a relationship that's been weighing you down. You're torn, unsure if you're making the right choice. One day, as you're mulling it over, you sit down at a coffee shop. The person next to you, a total stranger, starts talking about how they recently left a toxic situation and how free they feel now. Their story mirrors your own struggle so perfectly that it sends a chill down your spine. You didn't ask for their advice, and they had no idea what you were going through. Yet, there it is. A synchronicity, a moment where the outer world reflects your inner turmoil and offers a glimmer of guidance. This is where synchronicity gets really exciting. It's personal. Unlike random chance, which feels meaningless and scattered, synchronicity carries a sense of purpose tailored to you. Jung believed these events hold special significance for the individual who experiences them, acting as signposts on the winding road of life. They're not just curiosities to shrug off. They're invitations to pause, reflect, and dig deeper into what's happening beneath the surface of your consciousness. But why do these moments matter? Why should you care about some abstract psychological theory from nearly a century ago? Because synchronicity offers a way to see the world, and your place in it, differently. In a culture obsessed with logic, control, and predictability, Jung's concept reminds us that there's more to life than what we can measure or explain. It's a call to embrace the mystery, to trust that there's a hidden harmony at work, even when things seem chaotic. When you start noticing synchronicities, you begin to feel connected to something bigger than yourself. A vast, unseen web that ties your inner world to the outer one. Think about the last time you experienced a coincidence that felt too perfect to ignore. Maybe you were grieving a loss, and a bird landed on your windowsill just as you whispered a prayer for a sign. Or perhaps you were doubting your abilities, and a book fell off a shelf, opening to a page with a quote that spoke directly to your struggle. These aren't just stories we tell ourselves to feel better. They're glimpses of synchronicity, moments when the universe seems to lean in close and say, "You're not alone." Jung's theory also challenges us to rethink how we define reality itself. If synchronicity is real, if the psyche can indeed connect with the physical world in acausal ways, then our understanding of time, space, and separation starts to shift. The friend who called you wasn't just acting on a whim. Their action was part of a larger tapestry woven with your thoughts. That flyer didn't just fall by accident. It was a thread in a pattern you're only beginning to see. This doesn't mean everything is predetermined or that free will disappears. Instead, it suggests a kind of collaboration between you and the universe, a dialogue where your inner state and the outer world respond to each other in real time. Of course, not everyone buys into this idea. Skeptics argue that synchronicity is just our brains playing tricks on us, finding patterns where none exist, a phenomenon called apophenia. And sure, we humans are wired to seek meaning. It's how we make sense of a messy world. But Jung would counter that dismissing synchronicity as mere chance overlooks its emotional weight. When a coincidence hits you in the gut, when it feels like the universe just handed you a gift-wrapped answer, it's hard to write it off as random noise. There's a difference between seeing a cloud that looks like a dog and feeling the hairs on your neck stand up because the world aligned in a way that spoke directly to your soul. To really grasp synchronicity, you have to let go of the need for proof, at least in the scientific sense. Jung wasn't trying to build a formula you could plug into a calculator. He was pointing to something experiential, something you feel in your bones rather than dissect in a lab. It's about the lived reality of those moments when the inner and outer worlds collide, creating a spark of meaning that lights up your path. And the beauty of it is that you don't need a PhD to recognize it. Synchronicity is democratic. It's available to anyone willing to pay attention. So, how do you start seeing synchronicity in your own life? It begins with awareness. Jung said it's always there, but we miss it if we're too caught up in the noise of daily routines or the chatter of our rational minds. Slow down. Listen to your thoughts, your dreams, your gut feelings. Notice when the world seems to echo them back to you. Maybe it's a recurring number that keeps popping up, a chance encounter that feels fated, or a symbol that appears just when you need a push. These are the threads of synchronicity weaving through your story. Let's circle back to that definition. An acausal connecting principle linking the inner world of the psyche with the outer world of physical events. It's a mouthful, sure, but it's also a key to unlocking a richer, more connected way of living. Synchronicity isn't about forcing the universe to bend to your will. It's about noticing when it's already reaching out to meet you halfway. It's a reminder that you're part of something vast and mysterious, a participant in a cosmic conversation that's been going on since the dawn of time. Next time you stumble into one of those too perfect moments, don't brush it off. Lean into it. Ask yourself, what's stirring inside me right now? What's the world trying to show me? You might just find that synchronicity isn't a rare fluke. It's a language the universe speaks fluently, waiting for you to learn its words. And when you do, you'll see that life isn't just a series of disconnected events. It's a symphony, and you're one of the notes, resonating with the whole. The meaning of synchronicity, a dance of inner and outer worlds. Have you ever had one of those moments where everything just clicks? Where the chaos of life suddenly makes sense? Not because you figured it all out, but because the world seems to meet you exactly where you are. Maybe you're wrestling with a question deep in your soul, and out of nowhere, a stranger's words or a fleeting event hands you the answer on a silver platter. These aren't accidents. They're not glitches in the matrix or strokes of dumb luck. According to Carl Jung, they're synchronicities, moments when the inner world of your thoughts, emotions, and unconscious stirrings aligns with the outer world of people, events, and circumstances in a way that feels almost too meaningful to be true. But what does this alignment really mean? And how can it change the way you move through life? Let's explore the profound significance of synchronicity and why it might just be the universe's way of showing you the way. At first glance, it's tempting to chalk these experiences up to chance. After all, we live in a world that loves to explain things away with statistics and probabilities. You think about your old college buddy, and they text you 5 minutes later. Sure, it's a little spooky, but coincidences happen, right? Wrong, says Jung. Synchronicity isn't about randomness. It's about resonance. It's the universe striking a chord that vibrates between your inner reality and the external one, creating a harmony that feels purposeful, personal, and alive. These moments aren't just background noise in the soundtrack of your life. They're the crescendos, the beats where the music swells and you feel, even if just for a second, that you're part of something bigger. So, what's happening in these instances? Picture your mind as a vast, unseen landscape, full of rolling hills of thoughts, rivers of emotions, and deep caverns of unconscious impulses. Most of the time, this inner world stays hidden, humming along beneath the surface while you go about your day. But every now and then, something shifts. A question bubbles up, a feeling grows too loud to ignore, or a dream lingers in your mind like a half-remembered melody. That's when the outer world steps in, not randomly, but with precision. People cross your path, events unfold, or objects appear, mirroring what's happening inside you. It's not chaos colliding with chaos. It's a meeting of two halves that suddenly feel whole. Take this example. You've been feeling restless, unsure if you're living the life you're meant to. It's a quiet ache, one you haven't even fully admitted to yourself. Then, one afternoon, you're flipping through a magazine in a waiting room, and an article catches your eye. It's about someone who left everything behind to chase a dream, A story that echoes your own buried longing so perfectly it stops you cold. The odds of you picking up that magazine on that day in that moment might seem slim. But to Jung, it's not about odds. It's synchronicity. Your inner restlessness finding its reflection in the outer world, offering you a spark of clarity or courage when you needed it most. This is where the meaning of synchronicity starts to shine. It's not just a cool party trick the universe pulls to impress you. It's a guidepost. These moments carry weight because they arrive with a message, a nudge, or sometimes a full-on shove in the direction you're meant to go. They're not loud or obvious like a billboard flashing your name in neon lights. Instead, they're subtle, woven into the fabric of everyday life, waiting for you to notice them. And when you do, they offer something invaluable. A sense of alignment, a reassurance that you're not drifting aimlessly through the cosmos but are, in fact, in tune with it. Jung saw synchronicity as a bridge, a way to connect the scattered pieces of our existence into something coherent. On one side, you've got your inner world, the messy, beautiful swirl of thoughts, fears, hopes, and everything you can't quite put into words. On the other, there's the outer world, the people you meet, the places you go, the seemingly random happenings that fill your days. Synchronicity is what happens when these two sides reach out and touch, creating a moment that feels like a conversation between you and the universe. It's as if the world says, "I see you, I hear you, here's something to help you along." Let's dig a little deeper with another scenario. Imagine you're at a low point. Maybe you've lost a job or a relationship has crumbled, and you're wondering if you'll ever find your footing again. You're sitting on a park bench, staring at the ground, when a child runs by, laughing, and drops a bright red balloon right in front of you. You pick it up, and as you hand it back, the kid's parent smiles and says, "Thanks." Sometimes the smallest things can lift us up. It's a throwaway comment, but it hits you like a thunderbolt. Suddenly, that balloon isn't just a balloon. It's a symbol, a tiny burst of color in your gray day, and those words feel like they were meant for you. That's synchronicity, a meaningful harmony between your inner despair and an outer event, offering a whisper of hope when you thought all was lost. This alignment isn't accidental, it's intentional, at least in the sense that it speaks to you in a language only you can understand. Jung believed that synchronicities are deeply personal. What feels like a profound sign to you might be meaningless to someone else. That balloon moment? A passerby might see it as nothing more than a kid being clumsy. But for you, in that exact moment, it's a lifeline. This individuality is part of what makes synchronicity so powerful. It's not a one-size-fits-all phenomenon. It's tailored to your psyche, your story, your needs. And here's the kicker. These moments often show up when you're at a crossroads, when you're open, vulnerable, or searching for something more. Jung argued that synchronicity tends to peak during times of change or personal growth, when your unconscious is churning, pushing you toward transformation. It's like the universe knows you're ready to listen, so it turns up the volume on these meaningful coincidences. They become beacons, lighting the way through uncertainty, reassuring you that even in the dark, you're not stumbling blindly. But what's the point of all this? Why does the universe bother with these little winks and nods? For Jung, synchronicity wasn't just a curiosity. It was a key to understanding life's deeper currents. He saw it as evidence that we're not isolated beings, cut off from the world around us. Instead, we're woven into it, part of a larger tapestry where the inner and outer realms are in constant dialogue. When a synchronicity happens, it's a reminder of that connection. A signal that you're in rhythm with something vast and mysterious, something that transcends the everyday grind. This idea can feel both comforting and a little unsettling. Comforting because it suggests you're never truly alone. There's a hidden order looking out for you, even when you can't see it. Unsettling because it challenges the illusion of control we cling to. We like to think we're the masters of our fate, calling the shots with logic and willpower. But synchronicity hints at a different story. That there's a flow, a current, and sometimes our job is to trust it rather than fight it. It's not about giving up agency. It's about recognizing that we're co-creators in a bigger dance. Let's paint one more picture to bring this home. Say you're debating whether to take a leap, maybe move to a new city for a fresh start. You're on the fence, weighing pros and cons, when you overhear a conversation at a cafe. Two people are talking about how they made a similar move years ago, and one says, "I was terrified, but it was the best decision I ever made." Their words cut through your indecision like a knife, and later that day, you find a postcard in a shop window with a photo of that very city. Random? Maybe. But it doesn't feel that way. It feels like the universe is lining up the pieces, harmonizing your inner doubts with outer signs, guiding you toward a choice you're ready to make. That's the meaning of synchronicity in action. It's guidance wrapped in mystery. It's not a straight line from A to B. It's a constellation of moments that light up when you need direction. And the more you pay attention, the more you realize these aren't rare flukes. They're part of life's rhythm, a pulse that beats between your heart and the world. Jung said, "Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see." And he was right. It's not about forcing these moments to happen. It's about waking up to them, seeing the threads that tie your inner landscape to the vastness outside. So what do you do with this? Start by noticing. The next time something feels too perfectly timed to be chance, don't shrug it off. Lean in. Ask yourself, what's alive in me right now? How does this moment reflect it? You might find that synchronicity isn't just a fleeting oddity. It's a compass, a friend, a quiet voice saying, "You're on the right path," even if you don't know it yet. And in a world that often feels disjointed and uncertain, that's a gift worth cherishing. A harmony that reminds you you're exactly where you're meant to be. Real-life examples of synchronicity. When the universe speaks. Have you ever had one of those moments that stops you in your tracks? You're lost in thought about someone you haven't seen in ages. And right then, bam, your phone buzzes with a message from them. Or maybe you're grappling with a life-altering decision, and out of the blue, a random encounter drops the exact insight you've been searching for. These aren't just quirky little twists of fate. They're synchronicities, those uncanny, meaningful coincidences that Carl Jung described as the universe's way of linking your inner world with the outer one. They're real, they happen all the time, and they're more than just stories to shrug off. Let's dive into some real-life examples of synchronicity and see how these moments show up in our lives, offering clarity, connection, and sometimes a downright jaw-dropping sense of wonder. Synchronicity isn't some abstract theory locked away in psychology textbooks. It's alive, breathing, and walking right beside you every day. Jung believed these moments were proof that the universe isn't just a cold, random machine but a living tapestry, weaving together your thoughts, feelings, and the events around you in ways that defy explanation. And the best part? You don't need to be a philosopher or a mystic to experience it. It's in the small, everyday things, the phone calls, the chance meetings, the little signs that feel like they were made just for you. Let's start with one of the classics. Thinking about someone and having them reach out right on cue. Picture this. You're driving home after a long day, and for no apparent reason, an old friend pops into your head. Maybe it's someone from high school you haven't talked to in years, or a coworker you lost touch with after switching jobs. You can almost hear their laugh, see their face, and you wonder what they're up to. You don't text them, you don't even pull out your phone. But when you get home and check your messages, there it is. A text from that very person, sent just minutes ago. "Hey, I was just thinking about you," it says. Your heart skips a beat. How does that even happen? It's not like you sent out a psychic bat signal. And yet, there they are right when they crossed your mind. This is synchronicity at its simplest and most relatable. It's that eerie, delightful moment when your inner world, your fleeting thought, lines up perfectly with the outer world, their decision to reach out. Jung would say it's not about cause and effect. You didn't make them text you by thinking about them. Instead, it's a meaningful coincidence, a shared spark that lights up across time and space. It's the universe winking at you, saying, "See, we're connected in ways you can't quite grasp." And sure, you could brush it off as chance. People think about each other all the time, right? But deep down, it feels bigger than that. It feels personal. Now, let's take it up a notch. Synchronicity doesn't always play it small with texts or phone calls. Sometimes it steps in to tackle the big stuff, the questions that keep you up at night, the crossroads that leave you paralyzed. Imagine you're facing a massive decision. Should you take that new job offer halfway across the country? It's a gamble, better pay. Sure, but you'd be leaving behind everything familiar. You've been turning it over in your head for days, weighing pros and cons until they blur together. Then, one morning, you're at the grocery store, half distracted, when you overhear two strangers chatting in the cereal aisle. One says, "I moved here last year, and yeah, it was scary, but it's the best thing I ever did." The other nods and adds, "Sometimes you just have to jump, you know?" You freeze, a box of cornflakes dangling in your hand. They're not talking to you. They don't even know you're there. But their words slice through your indecision like a hot knife. Is that just a fluke? A random snippet of conversation that your brain latched onto because you were already obsessing over the choice? Maybe. But to Jung, it's synchronicity. A moment when the outer world hands you a mirror to reflect your inner struggle, giving you the push you didn't even know you were asking for. It's not like those strangers were planted there by some cosmic stage director. They were just living their lives. And yet, their words landed in your lap at the exact moment you needed them. That's the magic of it. Synchronicity doesn't need a script. It just happens, perfectly timed and perfectly yours. Let's try another one, something a little more poetic. Say you're grieving a loss, maybe a loved one passed away, and you're still raw, still searching for a sign that they're okay. You're sitting in your backyard one quiet afternoon, staring at the sky, and you whisper to yourself, "Just give me something, anything, to know you're still with me." At that exact moment, a butterfly lands on the arm of your chair. It's not just any butterfly. It's the same kind your loved one used to point out on walks, the one they'd call their favorite. It sits there, wings fluttering softly, longer than you'd expect, before drifting away. You're not a big believer in the supernatural, but tears well up anyway. Feels like an answer. This is synchronicity in its tender, emotional form. Your inner longing, your plea for comfort, meets an outer event that feels too specific to be meaningless. Skeptics might say it's just a butterfly doing butterfly things, and sure, that's true on one level. But the timing, the context, the way it resonates with your memory, it transforms a simple occurrence into something profound. Jung would argue that this isn't randomness. It's the universe responding, aligning the physical world with your psyche to offer solace when you're at your most fragile. These examples, thinking of someone who contacts you, a random conversation solving your dilemma, a butterfly delivering a quiet message, show how synchronicity weaves itself into the fabric of daily life. It's not always dramatic or earth-shattering. Sometimes it's subtle, a gentle tap on the shoulder rather than a shout from the rooftops. But that's what makes it so powerful. It meets you where you are, in the midst of your ordinary routines, and turns the mundane into the miraculous. Let's push it further with a story that's a bit more out there. Imagine you're a writer, stuck on a novel you've been pouring your heart into. You've hit a wall, your main character needs a breakthrough, but you can't figure out what it should be. One evening, you take a walk to clear your head, and you stumble across an old bookstore you've never noticed before. Inside, you find a dusty paperback on a discount rack. The title doesn't matter. What matters is that when you flip it open, the first page you land on describes a scene so close to your character's arc that it feels like someone peeked into your brain. You buy it, rush home, and suddenly the ideas start flowing. Your story comes alive again, all because of that chance find. Coincidence? Sure, you could call it that. Bookstores are full of books, and writers get inspired all the time. But the timing, the specificity, it's synchronicity. Your inner creative block collided with an outer discovery that unlocked it, almost as if the universe dropped a gift in your path. Jung would say this is your unconscious mind reaching out, connecting with the world to bring you what you need. It's not magic in the fairy tale sense. It's something deeper, a harmony between your struggle and the solution that found you. What ties these examples together is their immediacy. Synchronicity doesn't dawdle. It strikes when the iron's hot, when your thoughts or emotions are ripe for a response. That friend texts you right as you think of them, not 3 days later. The stranger's chat hits your ears while the job offer's still on the table, not after you've already decided. The butterfly lands as you whisper your prayer, not hours later when the moment's passed. This precision is what sets synchronicity apart from everyday happenstance. It's timely, tuned to the beat of your life. And here's the thing. These moments aren't rare. Once you start looking, you'll see them everywhere. Maybe you're doubting a relationship, and a song on the radio sings the words you've been too afraid to say. Or you're wondering if you should take a risk, and a street sign catches your eye with a phrase that feels like a dare. Synchronicity loves to hide in plain sight, waiting for you to notice. Jung called it an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. And he wasn't kidding. It's not about forcing it. It's about waking up to what's already there. So, next time you catch yourself in one of these moments, when someone calls as you think of them, or a random situation answers your big question, don't just smile and move on. Pause. Savor it. Ask yourself, what's this telling me? How does it fit with what's swirling in my head or heart? You might find that synchronicity isn't just a fluke. It's a thread in the story of your life, a real-life example of the universe stepping in to say, I've got you. And when you start collecting these stories, you'll see they're not random at all. They're the pulse of something bigger, beating right alongside you. Jung's perspective on synchronicity, the unconscious meets the universe. Imagine a world where the boundaries between your mind and the universe aren't as solid as they seem, where your deepest thoughts, the ones you barely acknowledge, ripple out and shape the events around you. This isn't the stuff of science fiction. It's the heart of Carl Jung's perspective on synchronicity. To Jung, those uncanny moments when life seems to align too perfectly to be chance aren't rare anomalies. They're a constant hum beneath the surface of reality. As he famously said, synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. But here's the catch. Most of us walk right past it, too busy or too skeptical to notice. Even more mind-blowing, Jung believed these moments reveal something wild about our unconscious mind, that it's not locked inside us but stretches out, touching the world and subtly steering what happens. Let's unpack Jung's view and see why it might just change how you look at everything. Jung wasn't your average thinker. He didn't see the human mind as a tidy little box, neatly separated from the chaos of the outside world. To him, the psyche was a sprawling, mysterious landscape, and the unconscious, the part we don't control or fully understand, was its deepest, most powerful layer. Synchronicity, in his eyes, was the proof that this unconscious isn't just a passive bystander. It's active, alive, and connected to the universe in ways that defy our usual logic. When you experience a meaningful coincidence, like thinking of a song and hearing it play seconds later, it's not just a fluke. It's your unconscious mind reaching out, dancing with the world to create a moment that means something to you. Let's start with that first big idea. Synchronicity as an ever-present reality. Jung didn't think these moments were occasional cosmic hiccups. He saw them as part of the fabric of life, happening all the time, everywhere. The catch? They're invisible unless you're paying attention. It's like living next to a river. You don't hear its rush until you stop and listen. Most of us are too caught up in the grind, too focused on schedules and to-do lists, to notice when the universe drops a hint. But Jung argued that if you tune in, if you open your eyes, you'll see synchronicity isn't rare, it's constant. It's in the way a stranger's comment answers a question you've been mulling over, or how a dream you had last night echoes in something you stumble across today. Take this simple example. You're rushing through your morning, late for work, when a random thought flits through your mind. Your grandmother's old recipe for apple pie, one you haven't tasted in years. You don't dwell on it. It's just a flicker. Later, at lunch, a coworker you barely know mentions they brought in a homemade apple pie to share. You laugh it off at first. Funny coincidence, right? But then you taste it and it's eerily close to that recipe you were thinking of. To Jung, this isn't just a cute story. It's synchronicity, a tiny thread connecting your unconscious memory to an external event. It was there all along, waiting for you to notice, but if you'd been too distracted, you'd have missed it entirely. This brings us to the second half of Jung's perspective. The unconscious isn't just inside us. It's a bridge to the world. We tend to think of our minds as private, sealed-off spaces. Your thoughts are yours, locked in your head, separate from the cars driving by or the people chatting at the next table. Jung flipped that idea on its head. He believed the unconscious is more like a river that flows beyond your skull, mingling with the currents of the universe. When a synchronicity happens, it's not that you caused the pie to show up by thinking about it. Instead, your unconscious was already in tune with something larger, and that alignment manifested in a way you could see. Let's paint a richer picture to dig into this. Imagine you've been feeling stuck. Maybe in a job that drains you, or a routine that's lost its spark. You haven't told anyone, but deep down, your unconscious is churning, restless for change. One day, you're walking through a park, lost in thought, when a street musician starts playing a song you haven't heard in years. It's one that used to inspire you, back when you felt bold and alive. You stop, listen, and feel a jolt, like the music is speaking directly to that buried part of you. Then, as you turn to leave, you spot a flyer on a bench advertising a workshop on career transitions, starting next week. No one forced that song into the air or planted that flyer there for you. And yet, it feels like they were meant for you. Jung would say this is your unconscious at work. Not just sitting quietly inside you, but reaching out, resonating with the world to bring you this moment. The song and the flyer didn't happen because you willed them into existence. They happened because your inner restlessness was already vibrating on the same frequency as the outer events, and synchronicity was the spark that lit it up. It's a wild idea. Your mind isn't an island. It's a thread in a cosmic web, subtly influencing what crosses your path. This perspective shifts how we see ourselves. If the unconscious connects us to the world, then we're not as separate as we think. That musician, that flyer, they're not random pieces in a chaotic puzzle. They're part of a pattern, one your unconscious helped weave. Jung didn't mean this in a literal puppet master way. Your mind isn't controlling reality like a superhero. It's more poetic than that. The unconscious picks up on energies, archetypes, and meanings that float through the universe, and synchronicity is when those currents collide in a way you can feel. Let's try another example, one with a bit more weight. Say you're grappling with guilt over a falling out with a friend. You haven't spoken in months, and it gnaws at you, but you don't know how to fix it. One night, you dream of them. Not a big, dramatic dream, just a quiet scene where you're laughing together like old times. You wake up with a pang, wondering if it's too late to reach out. That same day, you're at a coffee shop, and as you wait for your order, you overhear someone say, "Life's too short to hold grudges. Call them." You glance over, it's just two people chatting, oblivious to you, but the words hit like a punch. Later, flipping through a magazine, you see an ad with the phrase, "Make peace today." By evening, your phone pings. It's your friend, texting out of the blue to say they miss you. Coincidence? Sure, you could call it that, but Jung would disagree. To him, this is synchronicity, an ever-present reality you noticed because you were open to it. Your unconscious was wrestling with that guilt, sending out tendrils of longing and regret, and the world responded. The dream, the overheard words, the ad, the text, they're not isolated dots. They're a constellation, lit up by the connection between your inner turmoil and the outer events. Your unconscious didn't make your friend text you, but it tuned you into a moment where reconciliation was possible, and the universe met you there. This is where Jung's view gets really compelling. Synchronicity isn't just about noticing. It's about what it reveals. If these moments are real, if they're constant for those who see them, then our unconscious minds are more powerful than we give them credit for. They're not just storehouses of repressed memories or weird dreams. They're antennae, picking up signals from a reality we can't fully map. And when they catch something, a feeling, a need, a question, they don't just sit on it. They ripple outward, nudging the world to reflect it back to us. But why don't we all see it? Jung had an answer for that too. We're trained to ignore it. Our rational minds, the part Jung called the ego, love order, predictability, and explanations. Synchronicity doesn't fit that mold. It's messy, mysterious, and doesn't come with a manual. So we dismiss it, file it under weird coincidence, and move on. Jung challenged us to push past that. He said if you want to see synchronicity, you have to quiet the noise, let go of the need to control or explain everything, and just watch. It's there, he promised, waiting for those who have eyes to see. Let's wrap with one last story. You're at a crossroads, unsure if you should chase a dream that feels risky, maybe starting a business or traveling the world. You're scared, but the idea won't leave you alone. One day, you're browsing a used bookstore, and a book falls off the shelf, landing at your feet. You pick it up. It's a memoir about someone who took a leap like the one you're considering, and it worked out. You buy it, and that night, a friend calls saying, "I don't know why, but I just felt like telling you to go for it." The next morning, you see a quote online, "The only risk is not taking one." Each piece feels like a nudge, a whisper from your unconscious, amplified by the world. Jung's perspective tells us this isn't random. It's synchronicity, ever-present and alive. Your unconscious was wrestling with that dream, and the universe answered, not because you forced it, but because you're connected to it. So, next time life feels too perfectly timed, don't shrug it off. Lean in. Jung would say it's your mind and the world in conversation. A reality that's always there, if you're willing to see it. The role of synchronicity, the universe's compass for your journey. What if the universe isn't just a silent backdrop to your life, but a conversation partner? One that speaks in whispers, nudges, and perfectly timed moments. That's the role Carl Jung saw for synchronicity. Not just a quirky coincidence, but a living dialogue between you and the cosmos. It's the way the universe communicates, reaching out through events that mirror your unconscious mind, guiding you along your path, and cracking open doors to opportunities you didn't even know were there. These aren't random blips on life's radar. They're signposts, reflections, and invitations, all rolled into one. Let's explore how synchronicity plays this vital role, steering us through the twists and turns of our journey with a wisdom that feels both mysterious and deeply personal. Jung didn't see synchronicity as a passive phenomenon, something to marvel at and forget. To him, it had a purpose, a job to do. It's the universe's language, a way of talking to us when words alone won't cut it. Think of it like a friend who knows you better than you know yourself, dropping hints when you're lost or pointing out paths you've overlooked. But here's the twist. This friend isn't outside you. It's tied to your unconscious, that hidden part of your mind where dreams, instincts, and buried truth swirl. When a synchronicity happens, it's your unconscious speaking through the world, and the universe amplifying it back to you, offering guidance when you need it most. So, how does this work in real life? Let's start with the idea of communication. We're used to thinking of the universe as vast and indifferent, stars burning, planets spinning, all oblivious to our little dramas. But synchronicity flips that script. It suggests the universe is listening, or at least resonating with what's going on inside you. Say you're at a breaking point. Maybe you're burned out, wondering if you should keep pushing or walk away from something that's draining you. You're too tired to even articulate it, but it's there, festering in your unconscious. Then, one day, you're stuck in traffic, and the car in front of you has a bumper sticker that reads, "Rest is resistance." It's a small thing, but it hits you like a lightning bolt. Like the universe just reached down and handed you permission to pause. That's synchronicity as communication. It's not loud or obvious, no booming voice from the sky, but it's clear if you're paying attention. The bumper sticker didn't show up because you wished it into being. It was already there, part of the world's endless hum, and your unconscious tuned into it, making it a message just for you. Jung would say this is the universe reflecting what's bubbling beneath your surface, your exhaustion, your need for a break, and giving you a nudge to listen to it. It's a quiet, personal kind of guidance, tailored to the moment you're in. Now, let's talk about that reflection piece. Synchronicity doesn't just pull random stunts. It mirrors your unconscious mind, holding up a glass to show you what's really going on inside. Your unconscious is a tricky thing, full of stuff you don't always see or admit, like fears you've buried or dreams you've shelved. Synchronicity brings those shadows into the light, using the outside world as its canvas. Imagine you've been wrestling with self-doubt, quietly convinced you're not good enough for a big goal, like starting a business or chasing a passion. You don't tell anyone. It's just a weight you carry. Then, one afternoon, you're at a flea market, and you spot an old painting of a bird breaking free from a cage. Stops you cold. Something about it feels like it's yours. Later that day, a friend texts you a quote, The only limits are the ones you set. Coincidence? Maybe. But Jung would call it synchronicity, a reflection of your unconscious struggle with limitation, projected onto the world around you. The painting and the quote didn't solve your doubt, but they shone a light on it, showing you what's been simmering beneath your conscious chatter. That's the role synchronicity plays. It's a mirror, revealing truths you might not face on your own. And in that reflection, there's guidance, a subtle push to see yourself differently, to maybe let that bird out of its cage. Guidance is where synchronicity really earns its stripes. It's not just about showing you what's inside, it's about pointing you where to go. Life's a messy journey, full of forks in the road and moments where you're not sure which way is up. Synchronicity steps in like a compass, not with a map or a GPS barking directions, but with signs that feel right in your gut. Picture this: you're debating whether to move to a new city for a fresh start. It's a leap, exciting but terrifying, and you're stuck in limbo. One evening, you're flipping through a book you haven't touched in years, and a note falls out. It's something you wrote ages ago. Someday, I'll live somewhere new. The next day, a coworker mentions they're from that city and says, it's the kind of place that changes you. By the weekend, you overhear someone at a cafe talking about how moving there turned their life around. Each piece, the note, the coworker, the cafe chat, could be dismissed as random. But together, they feel like a chorus, guiding you toward a decision. Jung would say this is synchronicity at work. The universe communicating through these moments, reflecting your unconscious longing for change, and nudging you down a path. It's not forcing your hand. It's offering a trail of breadcrumbs, trusting you to follow if it feels right. That's the beauty of its guidance. It's gentle, personal, and leaves room for your own choice. And then there's the part about opening new opportunities and paths. Synchronicity isn't just a pat on the back. It's a door cracking open, showing you possibilities you might have missed. Let's say you've been feeling restless, craving something creative but unsure where to start. One day you're walking home, and a flyer catches your eye. Tangled in a bush, it's for an art class starting tomorrow. You almost keep walking, but something pulls you back. You sign up, and at the class, you meet someone who's looking for a collaborator on a project that lights you up. A month later, you're knee-deep in a venture you never imagined, all because of that flyer. This is synchronicity as an opportunity maker. It didn't just reflect your restlessness or guide you vaguely. It handed you a tangible chance to step into something new. Jung believed these moments happen because your unconscious is already reaching for growth, and the universe responds by aligning events to meet that desire. It's not luck, it's a partnership. The flyer was there, sure, but your unconscious tuned you into it, and synchronicity made it a bridge to a path you hadn't seen before. What's wild about this role is how it shifts your journey. Without synchronicity, life can feel like a solo slog, you versus the world, figuring it all out with grit and guesswork. But with it, you're not alone. The universe is in on it, whispering through bumper stickers, paintings, conversations, and flyers, reflecting your inner world and guiding you toward what's next. It's like having a co-pilot who doesn't speak in straight lines, but in symbols and serendipity, opening doors you didn't know existed. Let's tie it together with one more story. You're at a low point. Maybe a breakup's left you hollow, and you're wondering if you'll ever feel whole again. Your unconscious is heavy with grief, but also a faint hope you can't name. One morning, you find a single flower growing through a crack in your driveway. Small, stubborn, alive. Catches you off guard, and you smile for the first time in days. Later, a friend calls, saying, I just felt like checking in, and tells you about a retreat they're planning that's all about healing. That night, you dream of a garden blooming in a wasteland. The next day, an email lands in your inbox, a discount code for that retreat out of nowhere. This is synchronicity in full bloom. The universe communicating through that flower, reflecting your unconscious mix of pain and hope, guiding you toward healing, and opening a path to the retreat. Each piece builds on the last, turning a dark stretch of your journey into one with light ahead. Jung would say it's not random. It's your unconscious and the world in sync, playing their roles to move you forward. So what's the takeaway? Synchronicity isn't just a cool trick. It's a lifeline. It's how the universe talks to you, mirrors your depths, points the way, and clears new trails. Next time you catch it, a song, a sign, a chance meeting, don't brush it off. Listen. It's your journey's quiet guide, whispering, you're not lost. Keep going. And with every step, it's opening the world a little wider, just for you. Wolfgang Pauli's perspective on synchronicity, a mysterious dance of mind, matter, and symbols. What happens when a brilliant mind, trained in the rigid laws of physics, stumbles into a realm where those laws bend, or even break? That's the story of Wolfgang Pauli, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist who found himself captivated by Carl Jung's concept of synchronicity. To Pauli, this wasn't just a quirky psychological idea. It was a radical challenge to the traditional formula of cause and effect that had ruled science for centuries. Synchronicity hinted at something deeper, a secret thread tying the mind to the material world, revealed not through equations, but through symbols like the circle and the darkness. Pauli didn't just dabble in this mystery. He dove in headfirst, seeing in it a bridge between the tangible and the intangible, a puzzle that might unlock the universe's hidden harmony. Let's step into Pauli's perspective and explore why synchronicity grabbed him, how it shook up his scientific worldview, and what those symbols meant to a man who lived at the edge of matter and mind. Pauli wasn't your typical physicist. Sure, he was a genius. His work on quantum mechanics and the exclusion principle earned him a Nobel Prize in 1945. Cementing his place among the giants of 20th century science. But beneath his razor-sharp intellect was a restless soul, haunted by personal turmoil and a hunger for meaning beyond the cold precision of numbers. When he met Jung in the 1930s, reeling from his mother's suicide and a crumbling marriage, it wasn't just therapy he sought. It was a way to make sense of a life that felt increasingly chaotic. Jung, with his theories of the unconscious and synchronicity, offered Pauli a lens that didn't just explain particles and forces but reached into the shadows of human experience. And synchronicity, that was the spark that lit Pauli's curiosity ablaze. At its heart, synchronicity challenged everything Pauli had been taught about causality, the bedrock of classical physics. In the traditional formula, every effect has a clear cause. Drop a stone, it falls. Heat water, it boils. Simple, predictable, linear. But synchronicity threw that out the window. It described moments when events aligned in a meaningful way without any apparent causal link, like dreaming of a friend and waking to their call, or a random encounter answering a question you've been silently wrestling with. To Jung, these were glimpses of an acausal connecting principle, a force beyond the push and pull of physical laws. For Pauli, steeped in a world where causality was king, this was both a shock and a revelation. Could there be a reality where meaning, not mechanism, tied things together? Pauli's fascination wasn't just intellectual, it was personal. He'd experienced his own brushes with the uncanny. There was the famous Pauli effect, a running joke among his colleagues that equipment broke down whenever he was near. Not because he touched it, but because his presence seemed to jinx it. Pauli half believed it himself, and Jung saw it as a quirky example of synchronicity. His unconscious mind somehow disrupting the material world. Then there were his dreams. Vivid, symbolic visions that Jung analyzed over months, revealing patterns Pauli couldn't ignore. One dream, the world clock, stood out. A cosmic machine of spinning disks and rhythmic motion, blending order and mystery. To Pauli, it felt like a glimpse of the universe's soul, a harmony he couldn't quantify but couldn't dismiss either. This is where symbols entered the picture, those enigmatic shapes like the circle and darkness that Pauli and Jung kept circling back to. In physics, Pauli dealt with the concrete, particles, waves, probabilities, but synchronicity pulled him into a symbolic realm, one Jung argued was the language of the unconscious. The circle, for instance, wasn't just a shape, it was wholeness, eternity, the self. Darkness wasn't mere absence of light. It was the unknown, the shadow, the fertile ground where new insights grew. Pauli saw these symbols as clues to the mysterious connection between mind and matter, a link that causality couldn't touch. To him, synchronicity wasn't random. It was the universe speaking through these archetypes, whispering truths that science alone couldn't hear. Let's unpack that connection between mind and matter, because it's where Pauli's perspective really shines. In quantum physics, he'd already glimpsed a world where the old rules didn't quite fit. Take quantum entanglement. Particles linked across vast distances, reacting instantly to each other without any physical signal passing between them. It defied causality as Newton knew it, hinting at a deeper unity beneath reality's surface. Pauli wondered, could synchronicity be the psychological cousin of this? Where entanglement showed matter behaving acausally, synchronicity showed the mind doing the same. Two sides of a coin, both pointing to a reality where separation was an illusion. The circle, in this sense, wasn't just a symbol, it was a map of that unity, enclosing mind and matter in one unbroken loop. Darkness, too, played a role in Pauli's thinking. In his dreams and in Jung's framework, it wasn't something to fear, it was a space of potential. Quantum mechanics already embraced uncertainty. Heisenberg's principle said you couldn't pin down a particle's position and momentum at once. Pauli saw a parallel in synchronicity. The unconscious was a dark pool, unpredictable yet rich with meaning, and its ripples could surface in the material world. A classic example from Jung's work, the scarab beetle, fit this perfectly. A patient dreamed of a golden scarab, and as she told Jung, a beetle tapped at the window, a real-world echo of her inner vision. To Pauli, this wasn't coincidence. It was the darkness of the unconscious breaking into the light of reality, guided by symbols that bridged the gap. Pauli's interest in synchronicity wasn't about abandoning science. It was about expanding it. He didn't see it as a rejection of causality but as a complement to it. In a letter to Jung, he wrote, "In truth, nature is so fashioned that any contradiction between causality and synchronicity can never be ascertained." He likened it to Niels Bohr's complementarity in quantum physics, where light could be both wave and particle depending on how you looked. Causality explained the predictable. Synchronicity captured the meaningful. Together, they painted a fuller picture. One Pauli thought might heal the rift between the physical and the psychic, the lab and the soul. Let's bring this to life with a story Pauli might have appreciated. Imagine you're a scientist like he was, working late in a lab. You're stuck on a problem, say a theory that won't balance. Frustrated, you doodle a circle on your notepad, a mindless loop. As you stare at it, a memory surfaces. A childhood tale about a ring that held the world together. You shake it off, but then your phone rings. It's a colleague you haven't spoken to in years, calling to share a breakthrough that fits your puzzle perfectly. The timing's absurd. There's no reason they'd call now. But that circle, that call, that memory, they click. To Pauli, this wouldn't be luck. It'd be synchronicity. Your unconscious wrestling with the problem, the universe responding through a symbol and an event, guiding you forward. This wasn't idle speculation for Pauli. He wrestled with it rigorously. He and Jung spent years corresponding, hammering out ideas in letters later published as Atom and Archetype. Pauli pushed for precision, suggesting synchronicity was strongest in small, individual cases, unlike quantum statistics which averaged over many events. He saw it as a meaning correspondence, not just simultaneity, tying it to archetypes like the circle that popped up in myths, dreams, and even his own visions. Darkness, too, was archetypal, the shadow Jung described as the unseen self, which Pauli linked to the unpredictability of both quantum events and human experience. Pauli's perspective wasn't without tension. His physicist peers often scoffed. Synchronicity smelled like pseudoscience, too soft for their hard-edged world. One mathematician, after reading Jung and Pauli's work, quipped they were both utterly mad. But Pauli didn't care. He'd seen too much, his dreams, the Pauli effect, the way Jung's ideas echoed quantum strangeness, to dismiss it. He even tied it to history, noting how Johannes Kepler's planetary laws were shaped by the Trinity, a symbolic trio mirroring the circle's unity. To Pauli, science and symbolism weren't enemies. They were partners, revealing a reality where mind and matter whispered to each other. Let's try another example, one Pauli might have dissected with Jung. You're hiking, brooding over a choice. Stay in a safe job or chase a risky passion. The trail's dark, shadowed by trees, and you feel lost in more ways than one. Then, a circular stone rolls across your path, oddly perfect, like a coin from the earth. As you pick it up, a hiker passes and says, "Sometimes the dark shows you what the light hides." Their words stick, And the next day, you find an old journal entry about daring to dream, written in a circle. The pieces fit not causally, but meaningfully. Pauli would see this as synchronicity. The darkness of your doubt, the circle of your resolve, and the world's timely echo, all guiding you toward a new path. In Pauli's eyes, synchronicity wasn't just a challenge to causality. It was a call to rethink reality itself. He imagined a neutral language blending physics and psychology, where symbols like the circle and darkness weren't metaphors but keys to a unified whole. Quantum entanglement showed matter's hidden ties. Synchronicity showed the minds. Together, they suggested a universe alive with meaning, where the unconscious didn't just sit inside us. It reached out, shaping events through an acausal dance. The circle enclosed it all. The darkness held its secrets. So why did Pauli care? Because synchronicity promised something science alone couldn't deliver. A glimpse of the whole. It wasn't about proving it with a formula. Pauli knew better than to try. It was about feeling it, living it, seeing the symbols that tied his dreams to the stars. Next time you spot a circle in your day or feel a shadow stir something deep, think of Pauli. He'd tell you it's not just chance. It's the universe winking, inviting you to see the mystery he chased to his last breath. Types of synchronicity, the universe's many voices. Ever feel like the universe has a knack for showing up right when you need it? That's synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences Carl Jung said tie your inner world to the outer one. But here's the thing, it doesn't always look the same. Sometimes it's a warning bell, sometimes a pat on the back, sometimes a peek into tomorrow. Jung didn't just see synchronicity as one note. It's a symphony with different melodies, each playing a unique role in your life. From steering you clear of trouble to turning your dreams into reality. These types, warning, confirmation, premonition, opportunity, and manifestation, act like the universe's toolkit, guiding, reassuring, and opening doors. Let's break them down with stories that bring them to life and show how they whisper or shout through your days. Synchronicity of warning, the cosmic red light. First up is the synchronicity of warning. Think of it as the universe hitting the brakes before you crash. These moments pop up when you're teetering on the edge of a big decision or a risky move, flashing a signal to slow down or rethink. They're not always loud, but they're sharp, like a gut punch you can't ignore. Jung saw these as protective nudges, your unconscious picking up on danger your conscious mind missed. Picture this. You're set for a weekend road trip, bags packed, playlist ready. But something feels off. You can't pin it down, just a weird vibe. As you're about to leave, your phone dies, even though it was charged. Then your car won't start, battery's fine, but it just stalls. Frustrated, you cancel the trip. Later, you hear there was a massive pileup on the highway you'd have been on, right around the time you'd have passed through. Relief washes over you. Those glitches weren't random. They kept you safe. That's warning synchronicity in action. The phone, the car, they didn't break because of some cosmic conspiracy, but their timing aligned with your unconscious unease, steering you away from harm. These moments don't explain themselves, they just act, trusting you to connect the dots later. Next time life throws up a sudden roadblock, pause. It might be the universe saying, "Not yet." Synchronicity of confirmation, the cosmic high five. Then there's the synchronicity of confirmation, like a cheerleader in the stands when you're running the race of your life. These show up to affirm you're on the right track, especially after a tough call. Jung saw them as the universe nodding, syncing your inner resolve with outer reassurance, telling you, keep going, you've got this. Imagine you've just quit a soul-crushing job to freelance. It's terrifying. Bills loom, doubt creeps in. You're second-guessing everything when you meet an old friend at the grocery store. They've got no clue about your leap, but they say, "I went freelance last year, and it's the best thing I ever did." Their grin, their story, it's like a weight lifts. That night, you get an email. A small gig, your first as a freelancer. It's not much, but it feels like a sign. That's confirmation synchronicity. The friend, the gig. They're not miracles, but their timing aligns with your inner shift, boosting your confidence. They're the universe's way of saying you're in tune, reinforcing your path with little echoes of yes. When doubt hits, watch for these They're your cosmic high five. Synchronicity of premonition, the cosmic crystal ball. Next up is the synchronicity of premonition, a glimpse into what's coming, often through dreams or symbols, prepping your mind for the road ahead. Jung loved this type. He saw it as the unconscious peering into the future, giving you a heads up so you're not blindsided. It's less about prediction and more about preparation. A quiet heads up from the universe. Let's say you dream of water flooding your house, vivid, unsettling. You wake up shaken but brush it off. 2 days later, a pipe bursts in your basement. It's a mess, but you're oddly calm. Somehow you'd already felt it coming. You grab a mop, call a plumber, and handle it, almost like you'd rehearsed. Later, you find an old photo of your childhood home, water-stained from a flood years ago. The pieces click. That's premonition synchronicity. The dream didn't cause the pipe to burst. It reflected something brewing, maybe tied to that old memory, and softened the blow. These moments, dreams of falling before a setback, a bird before news of change, aren't fortune-telling. They're the universe whispering, "Get ready." So you face what's next with a steadier heart. Synchronicity of opportunity, the cosmic open door. Then there's the synchronicity of opportunity, when everything lines up like stars in a constellation, handing you a chance you didn't see coming. Jung saw these as moments of perfect alignment, your unconscious longing meeting the world's possibilities, opening paths that feel almost magical. It's the universe saying, "Here's your shot. Take it." Imagine you're stuck in a rut, craving a creative outlet but unsure where to start. One day you're late for work, miss your bus, and end up at a cafe. A stranger spills their coffee, you help clean up, and they mention they're hosting a writing workshop that night. Last spot's open. You go, and there you meet someone who's launching a magazine and needs a contributor. A month later, you're published, all from that spilled coffee. That's opportunity synchronicity. The missed bus, the spill, the chat, they're not scripted, but they align with your buried wish cracking open a door. These moments don't force you. They invite you, syncing your inner spark with an outer chance. When life feels too perfect, don't blink. It might be your next step calling. Synchronicity of manifestation, the cosmic mirror. Finally, there's the synchronicity of manifestation, when your thoughts or desires pop into reality like the universe heard you loud and clear. Jung tied this to the unconscious reach, suggesting what you focus on can ripple out and show up in surprising ways. It's the universe reflecting your inner world back to you, making dreams tangible. Say you've been craving a specific book, a rare novel you read as a kid. You don't hunt for it. It's just a quiet wish. A week later, you're at a thrift store, and there it is, spine-cracked but unmistakable, sitting on a shelf for $1. You grab it, stunned. How'd it find you? That night, you read a line you'd forgotten, one that shifts your whole mood. That's manifestation synchronicity. Your longing didn't summon the book like a spell. It tuned you into its presence, and the universe delivered. These moments, wanting a song and hearing it, picturing a trip and getting a deal, show your unconscious isn't just dreaming. It's connecting, pulling what you need into your orbit. When you catch it, it's like the world winking back. Why these types matter? These 5 types, warning, confirmation, premonition, opportunity, manifestation, aren't just categories. They're the universe's playbook for talking to you. Warning keeps you safe. Confirmation builds your nerve. Premonition steadies you. Opportunity pushes you forward. And manifestation proves you're heard. Jung saw them as the unconscious and the world in sync, each with a role in your journey. Let's weave them into one story. You're planning a trip, warning looms. Your car breaks down, forcing you to cancel. Later, you hear of a storm where you'd have been, safety secured. A friend calls, saying, "Good choice. I stayed home once and it paid off." Confirmation kicks in. You dreamed of rain the night before. Premonition warned you. At home, you meet a neighbor who's hiring for a dream job. Opportunity knocks. You'd been hoping for work like that. And there it is. Manifestation seals it. See how they dance together? Each type plays its part, reflecting your unconscious, guiding you, opening paths. They're not loud. They're subtle, personal, waiting for you to notice. Jung said synchronicity is ever-present for those who have eyes to see, and these types prove it. They're the universe's voices, warning, cheering, hinting, offering, reflecting, all tuned to you, living with the types. So how do you spot them? Pay attention. A delay that saves you, a stranger's word that steadies you, a dream that foreshadows, a chance that fits too well, a wish that lands in your lap. They're not accidents. Journal them. Write the warnings that worked, the confirmations that lifted you, the premonitions that rang true, the opportunities you seized, the manifestations that stunned you. Over time, you'll see patterns, a rhythm of synchronicity weaving through your life. Next time you feel that tingle, that this can't be random shiver, lean in. Is it warning you off, cheering you on, hinting at tomorrow, opening a door, echoing your heart? The universe is talking, in 5 distinct tones, guiding you through its quiet magic. Listen close. It's got a lot to say. The influence of the ego, why letting go unlocks synchronicity. Have you ever missed something incredible because you were too busy trying to figure it out? That's the ego at work, your mind's gatekeeper, always craving control, demanding logic, and shutting the door on anything that doesn't fit its neat little boxes. Carl Jung saw this as the biggest roadblock to synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences where the universe seems to wink at you. The ego, with its love for order and certainty, often brushes them off as nonsense. Just chance, it says, rolling its eyes. But Jung argued that to really experience synchronicity, those moments when your inner world aligns with the outer one, you have to loosen the ego's grip, step away from the need to rationalize everything, and embrace the unknown. Let's dive into how the ego shapes or blocks these experiences and why letting go might just open your eyes to a world alive with meaning. Jung didn't invent the ego, it's been part of psychology since Freud, but he gave it a starring role in his work. To him, the ego is the conscious self, the you that navigates daily life. It's the captain of your ship, steering through routines, decisions, and social masks with a firm hand on the wheel. It loves predictability. Give it a problem and it'll dissect it, analyze it, and file it away. That's its strength. It keeps you grounded, functional, sane. But when it comes to synchronicity, that strength turns into a weakness. The ego doesn't like mysteries it can't solve, and synchronicity, by its very nature, is a mystery. It's acausal, irrational, a dance between your unconscious and the universe that doesn't follow the ego's rulebook. Think about the last time something weirdly perfect happened, like running into an old friend right after you thought of them. Your ego probably jumped in fast. Oh, that's just a coincidence. People bump into each other all the time. It's quick to explain, to dismiss, because anything else threatens its control. Synchronicity doesn't let the ego call the shots. It flows from the unconscious, that wild, untamed sea beneath your surface, and the ego hates not being in charge. Jung put it this way in The Structure and Dynamics of the Psyche. The ego is like the captain of a ship, guiding us through life, but the unconscious is the sea. The ego cannot control or understand the sea, and its efforts to do so often lead to distortion. When the ego fights that sea, synchronicity gets drowned out. Let's paint a picture. You're walking home, stressed about a choice. Say, whether to take a new job. Out of nowhere, a street sign catches your eye. New Beginnings Lane. It feels like a nudge, a hint from the universe syncing with your inner turmoil. But your ego steps in. Don't be silly. It's just a sign. Streets have names. It's not about you. And just like that, the moment's gone. The ego's need to rationalize, to keep everything safe and sensible, snuffs out the spark. Jung would say that's the ego doing its job, protecting you from the unknown, even when the unknown might be exactly what you need. This control freak streak isn't all bad. It's why you don't spiral into chaos every day. But it comes with a cost. Synchronicity thrives in the gaps, the cracks where logic loosens and wonder creeps in. The ego, with its iron grip, seals those cracks shut. It's terrified of what it can't predict or explain. Things like a dream that foreshadows a call, or a random encounter that shifts your path. To the ego, these are threats to its authority, so it labels them chance and moves on. Jung saw this as a tragedy. By clinging to control, the ego blinds us to a deeper reality, one where the unconscious and the world are in constant, meaningful conversation. Here's a story to bring it home. You're debating a big move, new city, new life. You're torn, and your ego's in overdrive, listing pros and cons, demanding a plan. One day, you're at a park, lost in thought, when a kid kicks a soccer ball your way. You kick it back, and the kid's dad says, "Thanks, we just moved here. Best leap we ever took." It's casual, but it lands like a thunderbolt. Exactly what you're wrestling with. Your heart says, "That's a sign." But your ego snorts, "People move all the time. It's nothing." Later, a song on the radio croons about chasing dreams, and your ego doubles down. Just a song. Stop overthinking. The synchronicity's there, guiding, whispering, but the ego's too busy steering to hear it. Jung believed this tug-of-war happens because the ego fears the unconscious. That deeper self, the one that dreams, feels, and knows things the ego can't grasp, is a wild card. Synchronicity flows from it, not the ego, and that's a problem for a captain who hates losing the helm. In Jung's words, the ego finds comfort in certainty and order, and will often reject the mysterious or unknown. But here's the kicker. Rejecting the mysterious means rejecting synchronicity, and with it, a chance to see life's hidden threads. The ego's control keeps you safe, sure, but it also keeps you small, locked in a world where everything has to make sense. So, how do you break that lock? Jung's answer is simple but tough. Let go. To experience synchronicity, you have to ease up on the reins, quiet the ego's chatter, and open yourself to what you can't control. It's not about ditching the ego entirely, you'd be a mess without it, but about giving it a break, letting the unconscious take the stage. When you stop demanding answers, when you lean into the unknown instead of fighting it, synchronicity starts to shine through. It's like tuning a radio. The ego's static fades, and the universe's signal comes in clear. Let's try that park story again, but with the ego on mute. You're still debating that move, still at the park. The soccer ball rolls up, the dad says his line about leaping. This time, you don't analyze, you feel it. You think, that's weirdly perfect. The song plays later, and instead of scoffing, you hum along, letting its echo sink in. That night, you dream of a suitcase packed and ready. No pros and cons list, no ego lecture, just a quiet sense that the world's talking to you. The next day, a friend mentions a job in that city, out of the blue. Synchronicity flows because you didn't block it, you let it be. This letting go isn't easy. The ego's a stubborn beast. It's spent your whole life building walls, and it doesn't like them coming down. Jung knew that. He said embracing the unknown takes courage, a willingness to trust there's a bigger plan even when you can't see it. But when you do, the payoff's huge. Synchronicity isn't just a coincidence. It's a guide, a mirror, a friend. The ego's control keeps you from it. Opening up lets it in. It's like stepping out of a cramped room into a wide, wild field. You didn't know how much you were missing. Let's weave in one more tale. You're burned out, questioning everything: work, relationships, purpose. Your ego's in full panic mode, trying to fix it with logic. Work harder, plan better, figure it out. One morning, you're too tired to fight. You sit by a window, staring at nothing, when a bird lands on the sill. A rare one, the kind your mom loved. Your ego grumbles, birds land places, but you shush it. You just watch. Later, a coworker says, out of nowhere, "You look like you need a break. Take it." That night, you find an old note from your mom. Rest when you're weary. The ego wants to dissect it, correlation, not causation. But you don't let it. You feel the sync, the message, the peace. That's what happens when the ego steps back. The bird, the words, the note, their synchronicity, flowing because you didn't choke them with control. Jung would say you tapped into the unconscious, let it connect with the world, and the universe met you there. It's not about losing yourself. It's about finding a bigger self, one that trusts the unknown instead of fearing it. The ego's rational wall falls, and the sea rushes in, full of meaning. How do you practice this? Start small. Next time something feels too perfect, like a book falling open to the page you need. Don't explain it away. Sit with it. When a stranger's comment hits too close to home, don't dissect. Feel it. Journal these moments not to analyze but to marvel. Meditation helps. Quiet the ego's noise. Let the unconscious breathe. Over time, you'll notice more. The signs, the alignments, the whispers. The ego won't like it. It'll squirm, demand proof, but that's okay. Tell it to rest. The unknown's not the enemy. It's the doorway. Jung's point is clear. The ego's influence blocks synchronicity because it can't stand not knowing. But when you let go, when you open up, the world lights up with connections you'd never see otherwise. It's scary. Control's a hard habit to break. But it's worth it. Synchronicity isn't just out there waiting. It's in you, ready to bloom when the ego steps aside. So, next time life feels too strange to be random, don't fight it. Breathe. Trust. The universe is waiting to show you what's next. How to use synchronicity tools to tune into the universe's signals. What if the universe is trying to talk to you, but you're missing the call because you don't know how to listen? Carl Jung believed synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences where your inner world syncs with the outer one, isn't just something that happens. It's something you can work with. It's a tool, a guide, a compass for navigating life's twists, if you know how to use it. Jung gave us the map. Journal your dreams and events, decode the symbols, trust your intuition, and harness your imagination. These aren't just tricks. They're ways to tune into the universe's frequency, turning fleeting moments into a conversation that lights your path. Let's dive into how you can make synchronicity a practical part of your life, with stories and steps to bring it down to earth. Journaling, writing the threads of meaning. First up is journaling. Grabbing a pen and capturing the raw stuff of synchronicity. Your dreams, the symbols that pop up, the events that feel too perfect. Jung called dreams a royal road to the unconscious. A highway where the deeper you spills out in images and stories. Writing them down, along with the weird little happenings of your day, isn't just record-keeping. It's a way to spot the threads tying them together, revealing meanings you'd miss otherwise. Imagine you wake up from a dream. You're climbing a ladder, but it's rickety, swaying. You jot it down, nothing fancy, just the basics. That day, you're offered a promotion at work. It's tempting, but risky. More responsibility, less stability. As you mull it over, you scribble that too. Later, flipping through your journal, you notice a pattern. Last month, you dreamed of a crumbling bridge before a friend's shaky advice panned out badly. The ladder, the promotion, they click. Writing it down didn't make the choice for you, but it showed you a warning from your unconscious, synced with the offer. That's journaling's power. It's not about perfect prose. It's about catching the raw data of synchronicity before your ego explains it away. Start simple. A notebook by your bed, a quick note about a dream, a bird, a storm, a symbol, a key you found, an event, a stranger's odd comment. Over time, you'll see connections. Dreams echoing reality, events mirroring feelings. Jung said if you don't pay attention, you miss the signs. Writing keeps them alive, letting you uncover the deeper story. Understanding symbols. Decoding the unconscious language. Next is understanding symbols, the cryptic code of synchronicity. Jung saw them as the unconscious voice, speaking through dreams and waking life alike. A circle isn't just a shape, it's wholeness. A shadow isn't just dark, it's what's hidden. These aren't random, they're messages, guiding you if you learn to listen. Decoding them turns synchronicity from a vague hunch into a clear signal. Let's say you dream of a wolf howling under a full moon. You wake up curious, so you note it. That week, you're facing a tough call. Stick with a safe routine or take a bold step. At a bookstore, a wolf stares at you from a poster, advertising a talk on courage. Your gut stirs. Jung would say the wolf's a symbol, wildness, instinct, a call to bravery. It's not coincidence. It's your unconscious nudging you through the dream and the poster, synced with your dilemma. Symbols are everywhere. Dreams, a river for change. Objects, a lost ring for connection. Nature, a storm for upheaval. To use them, don't overthink. Feel them. What does a wolf mean to you? Strength? Fear? Write it down, then watch for it in your day. Jung said, just as a dream is a message, so are the symbols in our life. They're the universe's shorthand, guiding you through images instead of words. Spot them, reflect, and they'll point the way. Intuition, feeling the difference that matters. Then there's intuition, the gut sense that separates random flukes from synchronicity with teeth. Not every coincidence counts. Some are just noise. Jung knew this. Synchronicity isn't every odd moment, but the ones that hit you with meaning, that feel like they're leading somewhere. Your intuition's the filter, telling you what's a sign and what's static. Picture this. You're walking, and a feather floats down in front of you. Cute, but no big deal, feathers fall. Later, you see 11:11 on your clock, neat, but clocks tick. Neither phases you much. But then, you're agonizing over whether to call a sick friend, and a feather lands on your car as you think it, followed by 11:11 flashing again. This time, your stomach flips, it feels urgent, personal. You call, and they'd been hoping you would. That's intuition at work. The first feather and 11:11 were noise. The second pair, tied to your worry, carried weight. Jung said synchronicity's about meaningful parallels, and your gut knows the difference. To use it, ask, does this stir me? Guide me? Random stuff happens, coffee spills, phones ring, but synchronicity feels alive. Trust that tingle. It's your compass for what matters. Imagination, picturing the path ahead. Finally, there's imagination, your secret weapon to steer synchronicity toward your goals. Jung believed what you focus on shapes your unconscious, and synchronicity follows that tune. By visualizing your desires clearly, you don't force the universe. You invite it to align, opening paths to what you seek. It's not magic. It's intention meeting opportunity. Suppose you want a fresh start, a new job, say. Instead of just hoping, you picture it. You're at a desk you love, surrounded by people who inspire you, feeling alive. You see it daily, not obsessing, just planting the seed. A week later, you're at a party, and someone mentions a gig that fits your vision. Same vibe, same spark. You apply, and it's yours. That image didn't conjure the job, but it tuned your unconscious, and synchronicity brought the chance. That's imagination's role. Jung said, imagination is more important than knowledge. It's creative fuel. Try it. Pick a goal, a trip, a skill. Visualize it vividly, sights, sounds, feelings. Don't grip it tight. Let it float. Then watch. A friend might call with a lead. A flyer might catch your eye. Synchronicity loves a clear signal. Give it one, and it'll guide you there. Putting it all together. These four, journaling, symbols, intuition, imagination, aren't separate. They're a team. Journaling tracks the raw material, dreams of ladders, feathers on cars. Symbols decode it, ladders for risk, feathers for care. Intuition filters it, random feathers fade, guiding one stick. Imagination shapes it. Picturing a job pulls chances your way. Together, they turn synchronicity from a passive into an active tool. Let's weave a story. You're stuck, craving purpose. You journal a dream, a tree growing in sand. You ponder the symbol, resilience, life in tough spots. Your intuition flares when a tree mural appears on your commute, feeling like a push. You imagine a role helping others grow, vivid, real. Days later, a coworker mentions a nonprofit gig, tree logo and all. You journaled the dream, felt the symbol, trusted the gut, pictured the goal, and synchronicity delivered. That's how it works. Jung saw synchronicity as a bridge between unconscious and world, and these steps cross it. Start tonight. Write a dream, a clock, a wave. Feel its symbol, time, flow. Trust if it guides you. Imagine what it points to. A clock ticks later. A wave crashes in a song. Suddenly, you're moving towards something new, making it practical. How do you start? Grab a notebook, scribble dreams, odd events, a lost key, a stranger's smile. No rules, just flow. For symbols, keep a list, water, birds, circles. What do they spark in you? Intuition's trickier. When something lands, a number, a word, check your gut. Guiding or just there? Imagination's fun. 5 minutes daily. Picture your wish, a house, a friend, loose and vivid. Watch it build. You dream of a door, note it. A door creaks in a cafe, and your intuition says, pay attention. You imagine opening a new chapter. Then a job ad mentions new doors. Journal it again, it's sinking. Jung said, the unconscious speaks through symbols and messages. These tools catch them, sift them, shape them. Don't force it, the ego loves that and it kills the vibe. Let go. A dream unravels, a symbol clicks, a feeling guides, a vision aligns. Not because you made it, but because you allowed it. Synchronicity's not a machine. It's a river. Flow with it. Why it's worth it. Using synchronicity isn't about control, it's about connection. Journaling reveals your depths, symbols translate them. Intuition picks the gold, imagination sets the course. Together, they turn life's chaos into a dialogue with your unconscious, with the universe. Next time a dream lingers, a sign winks, a hunch pulls, or a wish stirs, don't shrug. Write it, feel it, trust it, picture it. The universe is talking. Are you ready to listen? Personal growth through synchronicity. Unlocking your true self. What if the key to becoming who you're meant to be isn't out there in some self-help book or guru's advice, but already inside you, waiting to be heard? Carl Jung believed that personal growth isn't just about fixing flaws or chasing goals. It's about connecting with your unconscious, that vast, hidden part of you where your deepest truths live. Synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences tying your inner world to the outer one, offers a way in, and the tools to unlock it are simple. Journaling your dreams, analyzing the symbols that pop up, and letting them guide you. This isn't just navel-gazing. It's a path to self-awareness, a bridge to your true self, the you beneath the noise. Let's explore how digging into dreams and symbols through synchronicity can transform you, with stories and steps to make it real. Jung saw the unconscious as a goldmine for growth. It's not just a dump for repressed junk. It's a living well of wisdom, instincts, and potential, whispering through dreams and symbols. But here's the catch. It's quiet, drowned out by daily chatter unless you listen. Synchronicity is its megaphone. When a dream echoes in your day, or a symbol lands with uncanny timing, that's your unconscious breaking through, syncing with the world to show you something. Journaling and analyzing those moments don't just record them. They crack them open, revealing who you are and who you could be. It's personal growth with a twist. Less about forcing change, more about uncovering what's already there. Journaling, capturing the raw material of growth. Start with journaling. It's your first step into the unconscious, a net to catch the fleeting gifts of dreams and synchronicity. Jung called dreams a royal road to the unconscious, a nightly stage where your deeper self plays out its dramas. Writing them down, along with the odd events that mirror them, isn't just a habit. It's a mirror, reflecting parts of you that daylight hides. Over time, it builds a map to self-awareness. Picture this. You wake from a dream, a river rushing through a dry canyon. It's vivid, so you scribble it in a notebook by your bed. River, fast, dry land. That day, you're stuck on a work project, feeling barren, uninspired. At lunch, a coworker says, sometimes you just need a flood to shake things up. It clicks. Your dream's river. Their words, your rut. You journal that too. Later, flipping back, you see a pattern. Last month, a dream of rain came before a creative breakthrough. Writing it down ties it together. Your unconscious signaling renewal, syncing with life to nudge you forward. That's journaling's magic for growth. It's not about perfect sentences, just raw notes. A dream, a tree, a clock, a symbol, a coin on the street, an event, a stranger's line. Day by day, it piles up, showing you what's stirring beneath. Fears, hopes, truths. Jung said if you ignore these signs, you miss your own story. Journaling keeps it alive, boosting awareness of what drives you, inching you closer to your real self. Analyzing symbols, decoding your inner compass. Then there's analyzing symbols, the next layer, where you dig into what those dreams and synchronicities mean. Jung saw symbols as the unconscious language, not random but loaded with insight. A river isn't just water. It's flow life. A canyon isn't just rock. It's struggle, depth. By unpacking them, you connect with your unconscious, turning vague hunches into a compass for growth. Let's say you dream of a locked door. You jot it down, then notice a real one creaks at work. Stuck like your career feels. Jung would say the door's a symbol, barriers, potential, something shut off. You reflect. What's locked in me? Ambition? Fear? That week, a friend says, you've got more in you than you let out. The symbol syncs with life, pointing to a truth you're holding back. Analyzing it doesn't just explain. It pushes you to face it, to grow into the you that's waiting. Symbols show up everywhere. Dreams, a bird for freedom. Objects, a key for access. Moments, a shadow for the unseen. To use them, don't overthink. Feel them. What's a door to you? Safety? A trap? Journal it, then watch for echoes, a stuck gate, a locked idea. Jung said symbols transcend words, guiding you to what's buried. Decode them, and they light up your path, aligning you with your truer self, connecting with the unconscious, building the bridge. This journaling and analyzing isn't just busy work. It's a bridge to your unconscious, the root of personal growth. Jung believed the unconscious holds your authentic self, the raw, unfiltered you beneath ego's masks. Synchronicity links it to the world, and these tools let you cross over, hearing what it's been trying to say. That connection fuels awareness, peeling back layers to reveal who you really are. Imagine you're restless, unsure why. You journal a dream, a wolf pacing a cage. You analyze the symbol, wildness, trapped energy. Days later, a wolf sticker catches your eye on a subway ad for a nature retreat. You feel it, your unconscious screaming for freedom, syncing with that ad. Writing and decoding it connects you to that caged part. A hunger for more stifled by routine. Awareness dawns. You're not just tired. You're unfulfilled. That's the bridge. Your true self howling to break free. This connection's power lies in its intimacy. Dreams, a star, a storm, symbols, a chain, a flame, synchronicities, a quote, a find. They're yours, not generic. Journal a star. Feel its shine as ambition. See it in a stranger's reach higher. The unconscious speaks, the world echoes, and you listen, growing into the self that's been there all along. Jung said, the unconscious offers direct insights. This is how you tap them. Increasing self-awareness. Seeing the bigger you. Self-awareness grows from this. Journaling and symbols don't just connect you to the unconscious. They show you what's running the show. Fears you dodge, desires you bury, strengths you downplay. They surface in dreams and sinks, and facing them aligns you with your core. It's not fixing. It's knowing. A quiet expansion into your full self. Suppose you dream of falling, wake shaky, and write it. Next day you trip, literally, then overhear. Falling's just a step to standing. You analyze. Falling's failure. Fear. The pattern hits. Last week, a dream of sinking came before dodging a risk. Journaling tracks it. Symbols unpack it. Your unconscious flags avoidance. Awareness clicks. You're scared to fail and it's holding you back. That's growth. Not erasing fear, but seeing it, owning it, stepping past it toward your real self. This isn't instant. It's gradual. A dream of water, emotion. A puddle sink, tears unshed. A friend's let it out. Piece by piece, you see, I hide feelings. Jung said awareness integrates the unconscious into waking life. And that's the shift. Journal daily, dreams, a mask, a road, sinks, a disguise, a turn. Feel the symbols, trace the thread. You'll spot what's true, what's you. Aligning with your true self, living the growth. Here's the payoff. Aligning with your true self. Journaling and analyzing don't just reveal, they guide you to live as the you beneath the surface. Jung called this individuation, becoming whole by embracing all of you, not just the ego's polished front. Synchronicity, tracked and decoded, pulls you there, syncing your outer life with your inner truth. Let's say you're stuck in a job you hate. You journal a dream. A bird trapped in a net. Symbol freedom snared. A bird flies into your window sink. You feel it, your unconscious crying for release. Analyzing, you see, I'm caged by fear of change. Awareness grows. I want more. Then, a job ad pops up. Perfect fit, scary leap. You take it and it's like breathing again. The dream, the bird, the ad. They aligned you with your true self, not the scared one. That's the arc. Connection sparks awareness. Awareness fuels alignment. A dream of a tree, growth. A tree tattoo you spot, sync. A grow where you're planted note. They nudge you to root into your real desires. Jung said this helps you align with your true self. Not society's you, not ego's you, but you. Journal it. A snake, shedding. A skin you find, sink. Feel it, act on it, become it. Making it work. How do you start? Grab a notebook, nightly, jot dreams, a wave, a lock, days sinks, a tide, a key. No polish, just truth. Analyze, waves flow, locks limit. What's it saying? Feel it connect. Am I stuck? Watch for echoes, a flood, a door. Awareness builds. I resist change. Then align, quit stalling, move. Try 5 minutes daily, dream, symbol, sync. Meaning. It stacks up. Don't force it. Let it unfold. A dream of light. A bulb flickers. A shine comment. Journal. Decode. Feel. Grow. Jung said dreams and symbols carry meaning even if it's unclear. Trust that. Over weeks you'll see. I hide. I dream. I'm more. The unconscious links. Awareness sharpens. Your true self emerges. Why it matters. This is personal growth Jung's way, not louder or faster, but deeper. Journaling and analyzing dreams and symbols don't just tweak you. They transform you, connecting you to the unconscious, waking you to yourself, aligning you with your truth. Next time a dream lingers, a flame. A symbol sinks, a spark. Don't shrug. Write it, feel it, grow with it. The universe is handing you a mirror. Look in. It's you waiting to shine. So, there you have it, the incredible world of synchronicity laid bare. From Jung's mind-bending definition to the practical ways it can shape your life. We've journeyed through its meaning, felt it in real-life moments, peeked into Jung's and Pauli's perspectives, and uncovered its many faces. Warnings, confirmations, premonitions, opportunities, and manifestations. We've seen how the ego can block it, how letting go opens the door, and how tools like journaling, symbols, intuition, and imagination turn it into a guide. Most of all, we've discovered how it fuels personal growth, connecting you to your unconscious, sharpening your self-awareness, and aligning you with the truest version of yourself. It's not just a theory, it's a living thread, weaving your inner world with the vast universe around you. Think about it. Every dream you jot down, every symbol that stirs you, every gut feeling that guides you. It's the universe whispering, you're part of this. Synchronicity isn't here to solve all your problems or hand you a script. It's subtler, wilder. A quiet invitation to listen, to trust, to grow. Whether it's a wolf in your dreams sinking with a bold step, a feather landing when you need hope, or a chance meeting that opens a new path, these moments remind you. You're not alone on this journey. The cosmos is in on it, reflecting your depths, nudging you forward, lighting the way. As we close this series, take this with you. The next time life feels too perfectly timed, when a song, a sign, a stranger aligns with what's in your heart, don't brush it off. Pause, feel it, write it down, let it guide you. Jung said synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. And now, your eyes are wide open. You've got the tools, the stories, the spark, use them. Let synchronicity be your compass, your mirror, your friend. It's been there all along, waiting for you to tune in. And now, a huge thank you to you, yes, you, for sticking with us through this whole adventure. If you've watched every second, from Jung's first idea to this final word, we're beyond grateful. You're the reason we dive into these big, beautiful ideas, and it means the world that you've come along for the ride. If this series sparked something in you, maybe a new way to see your days or a nudge to grab that journal, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your synchronicity stories, your aha moments, your questions. Before you go, hit that like button if you enjoyed this. It helps us keep sharing these journeys. And if you want more explorations into life's mysteries, subscribe and ring the bell. We've got plenty more coming your way. Check out our playlist on philosophies for life for deeper dives, or just stick around for whatever's next. Thanks again for being here, for listening, for seeing. Until next time, keep your eyes open. The universe is talking. Are you ready to answer?